Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your love reading. So, as I've been pulling the zodiac sign readings, but in particular the love readings, the energy of what looks to be a high level soulmate or twin flame connection has been coming out. Oops, I'm sorry, I bumped the desk. And as I pull these latest round of love readings, if that message comes through, I'm not gonna, look for it, but I am going to delve deeper if that message seems to come out. And I think it is likely it's gonna come out with you, Sagittarius, because when I picked up the deck to shuffle for your pre-shuffle, the Lovers card was randomly at the bottom, right? And we're opening with the Wheel of Fortune. So let's jump into your pre-shuffle. Actually, before we do that, I want to apologize if there are any issues with the sound. I've gotten a few complaints about that, and I had a whole audio mic system set up when I started the channel. Unfortunately, I can't use that equipment, and I'm just not in a place to be able to afford to replace it. So I'm doing the best I can with what I have, but I still decided to try to put the readings out consistently, just in case anyone finds them and is able to listen to them comfortably enough to get the messages. All right, so let's jump in. Very, very auspicious beginning, Sagittarius. I think this is the best opening I've had for all the readings. Yeah, it definitely is. The Wheel of Fortune. So something in the energy has shifted and it's in your favor, Sagittarius. Wheel of Fortune is a powerful energy. It's also a 10, so it's an ending. So one of the things we've been discussing is a difficult cycle coming to a close. And the World card has shown up for a couple of signs, and it was showing up, I don't know, quite frequently a few weeks ago. Wheel of Fortune. I think this is about that new beginning coming in, right? Moving past, some of the hardship and the difficulty and maybe some of the confusion, not quite knowing where things are going, right? It's here. It's under this. Interesting energy, 7 of Wands. So the way I see this, Sagittarius, is you or maybe your person having to defend yourselves and or your connection, right? You're going to end up in a place where you might already be there, to tell the truth, right? And you have the high ground on something, right? It might be some kind of decision that you made that's displeasing the people who have these 6 wands that are attacking you, right? You're gonna have to defend yourself or your connection, right? Because what happens sometimes is, these high-level soulmate connections, these twin flame connections in particular, they're here to teach us important life lessons. And when you learn and process those lessons, you can change quite profoundly, and it very often does not go over well with people in your life. All right? So as the good fortune from this Wheel of Fortune comes in, and you, I think, become planted firmly on this higher ground, you're going to be attacked, right? But 7 of Wands, it's a quite a weak, maybe even half-hearted energy compared to this Wheel of Fortune. It's nothing. Yeah. Queen of Swords, boundaries, man. Queen of Swords takes no BS, boundaries. So I think that's a lesson that I've been discussing as I talk about this cycle closing, right? It doesn't have to be related to necessarily a twin flame connection or even any kind of, romantic relationship. It can apply to anything, family, friends, your career. This idea that there are people who, for want of a better phrase, take kindness for weakness, right? And they take liberties with people, right? And there's an energy around the collective of people who are kind-hearted, people who want to help, people who don't like to see the people around them suffering, and that kindness has been abused, right? And people need to get this Queen of Swords energy up and set very firm boundaries with people who take advantage of that, right? Yeah. So this Knight of Pentacles has been coming up, and it's a very frustrating energy because it moves so slowly. Sometimes it just stands still, and it's frustrating because this Wheel of Fortune is about, I think it has something to do with stability, right? It has something to do, because what else has come through is that those people I discussed who take liberties, they're also destabilizing forces in people's lives. There's certain opportunities that show up that they kind of derail, right? It's an energy of people who don't want you on this high ground if they can't be there with you, pretending that, they made it happen. That kind of energy, right? So there's been a pentacle that's been meant to come in for you, but I don't think it could until this energy happened, right? Until these boundaries got set, right? Because the opportunity is just going to be diminished and maybe even destroyed, right? As long as those people are connected to it. So I'm hoping this Knight of Pentacles is close and is coming, right? Here we have Strength, and I think it's tied to this Wheel of Fortune, right? It's an energy of confident forward movement. It's an energy of mastery, right? You master, you tame this beast. I think for a lot of people it means mastering yourself, right? And allowing that to create this energy of setting boundaries, and also in a way mastering some of these negative people, making it clear that you are no longer in control of me. I am the one who's in control of this situation, right? See what's under here. Yeah, difficulties coming to an end. These two tens together are quite powerful. So normally I would say that the Ten of Wands breaks to an Ace. It's gonna break to something more powerful, I think, because this Wheel of Fortune is here. And here's the Emperor. It's exactly what I said about taking control, right? So this energy, what's often referred to as masculine energy, it's coming to balance in most of you, and you're more able to take control. And also, I mentioned that high-level soulmate connection. This is one of the counterparts, right? One of the counterparts is here. So maybe a storyline about that will develop, right? Oops. Let me see, this Wheel of Fortune is on top. Yeah. So this so far looks very good, Sagittarius. This might be, I think, the best reading that I've pulled. Yeah, look where the deck split at the Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment, right? So when I said that Ten of Wands wasn't going to break just to an Ace, I think it's the blessing, the gift, whatever you want to call it, it's coming in at a higher level, right? Wish fulfillment, a wish is going to be granted. Something I think you've wanted for some time, something you've worked towards, something you've put a lot of effort into. I think it's going to come to fruition. I don't quite know what that is, right? So let's see here. I like to shuffle a bit more and then have a second look at the bottom of the deck. I find that it helps to focus the reading and make the messages more direct and clear. It sort of helps to tie everything together. It kind of functions as a bridge, right? So cards are being a bit strange. It's better. So I shuffle, have a second look at the bottom of the deck and see if there's some guidance starts to come through, because I think this is a big turning point, Sagittarius. And, my hope is that this message, gives you a heads up about how to handle that moment, you know, how to process the lessons to get, that very difficult cycle that's coming to an end and move forward, right? Wow, the Empress. What is happening, Sagittarius? The other readings have been so difficult and so, especially in the extendeds, they've been like some difficult things have been happening, and it shows up very early in the readings. I'm not getting that here. This is the other half of the divine couple. The Empress is here. So to me, it's saying that that balance between those two parts of yourself, it's happening, right? With that strength, that idea of mastery, right? You're balancing your emperor and your empress. I think it also means for some of you that it looks like a twin flame connection that I don't know if it's going to come together, but something about you and your counterpart is tied to this Wheel of Fortune energy. Not quite sure what that means yet, the Empress. Wow, 10 swords are being driven into something, and that's what this strength requires, that mastery, right? So remember I said that, a lot of people take kindness for weakness, and there's a way maybe that a lot of you gave too much to the wrong person. Yeah, you're putting 10 swords in that. So I think what's happening to you, because twin flames in particular and other high-level soulmates often mirror each other. I think both you and your person are putting something big in your lives to an end. This feeling of just betrayal you often get. After you give, and it's either not reciprocated or it's outright disrespected. That these swords in your back, like enough, right? It's not a vindictive energy. It's just what has to happen. It's your turn and your person's turn to drive 10 swords into someone's back. Because these people that you're gonna leave behind, they're gonna feel betrayed. Right? Especially if like these two soulmates come together. It's going to create something beautiful. It's going to create something, I think, abundant, right? That's what the Empress represents, this abundance. And that Emperor energy represents that ability to control and direct things, right? The Empress attracts the abundance, and that Emperor energy helps it to just to stabilize, right? Prevents it from being depleted, right? Takes control of matters, doesn't get taken advantage of. Neither does the Empress, right? The Empress doesn't chase, right? Things come to her, she attracts, right? There's the strength again, it's what I was talking about, that mastery. And there's that 10 wands. Let's see what's on. The Lovers is trying to come out. Remember I said that this 10 of wands was not gonna break to an ace, that it looked like it's gonna break to a nine of cups. I was wrong. It's breaking to a 10 of cups. Right? This is gonna flip very quickly. And that's why that Wheel of Fortune is there. The Wheel of Fortune can accomplish this. It's going to go from this burden to complete wish fulfillment, right? Emotional contentment. This is an apex card, right? And a Knight of Wands is going to come in. It's a bit of an impulsive energy, right? It can be a bit flighty, but it's also a long shot, right? It's also a long shot, and you can see why this is a long shot, right? This doesn't look like something that should be able to happen. To flip almost immediately from a 10 of Wands to a 10 of Cups, right? And the reason I know that this 10 of Cups is not some kind of fantasy, right? Which is sometimes that's the way I read it, right? It's kind of a fairy tale, this happily ever after thing that's just not based in reality. Sometimes I call this rainbow the light show. It's just a projection. It's not real. It's a whole lot of fairy tale kind of nonsense sometimes. Not in this case, right? And I know that because the Lovers is here, This is too powerful an energy. This is that soulmate connection, right? This is too powerful an energy for this to be phony, right? So I don't know if this is you or your person, but as I said, I think the Empress attracts, right? So this is coming towards anyone. It's going to come towards the Empress, right? So I'm not sure how you resonate with those divine counterparts if you see yourself as the Empress or the Emperor. So take this as it resonates. A Knight of Wands is going to ride in, I think, very swiftly to try to change things, right? To try to change things. They want this Ten of Cups. They want this burden. They want to put down this burden. And that's what this Ten of Swords is about. These two tens are about a very, very difficult ending that I think is taking place right now because somebody wants a real Ten of Cups, right? And this mastery that's here, right? This self-control, this balance, right? This need for forward movement, this wanting to get out of stagnation is what's driving this. Wow. Oh my goodness. Like I said, Sagittarius, this is such a good reading, and I genuinely hope that it's the sign that this is coming for the other zodiac signs I pulled, because some of those other readings, man, so tough, so difficult. And this idea of ending needed to come in was there clearly, and I'm just hoping that this energy that you're in can kind of bleed over into some of the other zodiac signs. So this reading I'm about to pull, the overall energy is a Six of Pentacles, right? I think it's a very good sign to show up here because it's about, balance and equal give and take, right? You can see that these pentacles are out of balance. It's about fixing that, right? But in a very real world way, pentacles, material things that you can see, feel, and touch, right? It's about, something being equitable, right? Wow. Oh my goodness. And things have to be equitable in order for there to be success, right? The warmth of the sun is here. This is amazing, Sagittarius. What is happening? Yeah. Balance, this idea. So it's almost similar to that Ten of Cups and that Lovers. This balance has to come in. This major arcana is too powerful a card again for this balance not to be real, right? Wow. So this is, I think, reassurance for someone who isn't sure about their twin flame, right? And I would caution you to also use discernment because the truth be told, I was hesitant about raising this issue because I don't like the way twin flames are discussed in a lot of forums. You go through the comments and people are just describing narcissistic relationships. Like, there's no way that could be your twin flame or your high-level soulmate. That's a narcissist. That's a karmic lesson you're supposed to be learning. Maybe, right? Maybe, because I don't like the idea of these abusers, kind of being let off the hook. Oh, they're here to teach you a lesson. Yeah, maybe, and they're abusive. And so this idea that they're one half of a divine couple does not make any sense. And I wish people would kind of get past that. Just because you have very strong feelings to someone, you feel attracted to them, you feel like you need them, you feel like you're supposed to be with them, that doesn't make any of that true, right? Especially if they're mistreating you, right? Doesn't make any of it true. And this applies not just to romantic connections. As I said, this happens sometimes a lot in families, where people feel like, oh, this is my mother, this is my father, this is my sibling, I have to be there for them. Deep down, they really love me. You know what? Maybe not. Or if they do, there's something too warped about it for you to stay in that connection sometimes, right? You have to put yourself first. It can happen with jobs too. People choose these careers that give them status, right? And they get a lot out of that social capital, and it feels like something you're supposed to be doing. And so they take the abuse from their supervisors, from their bosses, right? From the heads of the company, and it's like, come on, man. Come on. All right, so let's pull this reading. Right? So, what is the energy in Sagittarius's connection with their person? I'm so interested to see what this is. Wow. Remember, I said that those tens, that 10 of wands in particular, is not going to break to an ace. It has to break to something more powerful. That new beginning needs to be bigger. Here it is, the Fool. The Fool. Someone is ready to take a leap of faith. I don't know if that's you. I don't know if it's your person. This is such a good reading. I'm taken aback because the pattern so far has been a whole lot of negativity, right? How's your person behaving in the 3D? Oh my God. What is happening? What is happening? It's an Ace of Pentacles. They want to have a stable new beginning, right? And remember, this is how they're behaving in the 3D. It means that they're taking steps towards this. So they're not just jumping off a cliff, right? I think your person is quite practical, right? And that's why these pentacles are here in the overall energy, this idea of equal give and take. It's about sharing, I think, some kind of material abundance with you, right? What is happening? Okay, so what is happening in Sagittarius's person's soul? Queen of Cups. It's the most love I can pull out of the deck, right? It's just love, unconditional love, right? Not withholding. That it's read back with the Fool. That's the leap of faith. That's what the leap of faith is, to love unconditionally. And this connection has brought that out in this person. Like, no matter what the difficulty is here, right? Oh my goodness, what's happening? Oh my goodness. Okay, so what's the hidden message from the universe then? Wow, 8 of Swords. This is not the best energy, and it's what can derail all of this, right? It's anxiety, it's stress, it's being bound up by your own thoughts, right? This is not, these bonds are not real. And this sword that looks like a cage, these swords that look like a cage, they're not real. They're up in someone's head, and that's what can prevent them from taking this leap of faith. This is what can stop all of this. Okay, so what is the potential final outcome? Death. Some kind of major transformation is happening. And it's to do with this Ace of Pentacles, right? The stable new beginning. There's an energy here of somebody, I almost feel like a tower here, right? It's, something is being destroyed so something else can be reborn. This is amazing, Sagittarius. So the kind of sticking point, the difficulty is this 8 of Swords, right? And this death energy is also quite powerful, right? And so I want to get a better understanding of especially these two placements, and depending on what comes out there, I might clarify other positions. So I am going to take this to the extended. The link for that will be in the description box. So this is your reading in Sagittarius, and it's amazing. It's amazing. So if there are difficulties that are happening in your connection with your person, with your counterpart, right? What I would advise you to do is to think of, the placements in your chart and their chart, and also watch some of the other readings to kind of see, if some of the difficulties that I discussed were there, right? And can give you an idea of, give you maybe a bit more context, right? Can give you a bit more context, especially about this 8 of Swords, right? So that's the reading. Thank you so much for watching. If you're on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate any support, and I really appreciate you just being here watching through to the end. I'll be back soon with more messages.